Hey, do you ever feel like no matter what you do, you keep falling short on reaching your goals or getting the results that you want? Well, you're not alone and you're not the only one. Good thing is, in this video, we're going to talk about why that happens and what you can do to fix that. Hey guys, my name is Christian Batuli. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm excited to have you guys here as always. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much for being here, taking the time out of your day to support. Really means a lot. Let's get right into it. All right, guys. So I'm going to start talking about a guy named Pep Guardiola. A lot of you guys may not know him, especially if you're born and raised in America. Now, Pep is one of the most famous football coach in the world. And when I say football, I mean soccer. I grew up calling it football. I mean, it makes sense. You're using your foot to kick the ball, therefore, football. But since I live in America, I'm just going to keep it short and simple. We're going to call it soccer. Now, Pep is one of the best soccer coach in the world. He's currently managing Manchester City in England, and they've been having a lot of success. Now, Pep was a former player. He played soccer as a career, just like most professional coaches do. They usually will play the sport at a high level and then they will transition into coaching. So he played for Barcelona and he also played for Spain national team. So after he decided to retire, he wanted to become a coach. So he spent a year coaching Barcelona B team. And Barcelona happens to be my favorite team. It's a team based in Spain. So Pep spent the year with the B team. He did such an amazing job taking the reserve team from third division to second division. And by him doing such an amazing job, the club's president decided to give him a shot. So in 2008, he finally got his big opportunity. He became Barcelona's first team manager. Now, Pep only lasted for 4 years. He was only Barcelona's first team manager for 4 years. But during that time, he had a tremendous amount of success. Now, anyone who's ever played soccer or anyone who follows soccer, you'll know that soccer teams usually compete for multiple titles in a season. So during the 4 years that Pep was the coach for Barcelona, he managed to win 14 trophies. No coach has ever done that. Like that 4 year period that we had in Barcelona was probably one of the most successful period we ever had in our club. In 4 years, we won 14 trophies, including a treble. And a tremble is usually when the teams win 3 to 4 major league competitions. So we won three La Liga, we won three Spanish Cups, we won two Copa del Rey, we won two European Super Cups, we won two Champions Leagues, and we won two Club World Cups. Like it was unheard of. Like to some people, Pep is considered the GOAT. And one of the main reasons why he was able to have so much success in a short period of time was because he had a system, and the system was called Tiki Taka. And the system was based on ball possession, it was based on short, quick passing, it was based on creating patterns, it was based on creating triangles in every part of the pitch. It was based on tactical awareness. It was based on positional plays. It was based on building up. It was based on winning the ball as quick as possible when you lose it. And most importantly, it was based on controlling the game because he believed when you have possession of the ball for the majority of the game, your opponent has no chance to score. And I remember those times where when he was in charge of Barcelona, we used to play and we used to have 70 to 80% ball possessions. So I know a lot of you guys may not have played soccer before. Just imagine playing a team And for nearly 60 or 70 minutes, you don't touch the ball. They have the ball. It's a lot of running. It's not fun at all. So just imagine that. And as a Barcelona fan, that was the most amazing times of our lives because we're winning so many trophies and we're playing beautifully. And none of that would have happened without a system called Tiki Taka. And the best thing about Pep was that he knew the kind of players that will fit into a system. He wanted players that were smart, meaning players that had a very high Q of the game, and players that had speed of thought. He wanted players that were able to be team players. And most of his players were under 6 feet. Most of those players, like we're talking about the Messi, the Xavi, they were 5'6", 5'7". Of course, in the defense, he had maybe few guys that were over 6 feet, but the majority of his players were under 6 feet because his system required short passing. His system was not based on the ball crossing, it was not based on headers or tall players. It was based on keeping the ball on the ground and moving it. Now, I say all this to say that when you have a good system, the result will naturally come. Because if you look around you, everything works in a system. Our bodies, your body works in a system. We have a respiratory system, we have a cardiovascular system, we have reproductive system, we have a nervous system, and many other systems within the body working together as a whole to keep you and I alive. If you look at the government is run on the system. We have the electoral systems, we have the judicial, executive, legislative system, all designed to keep the country running. Now, you don't always have to agree with the system because I sure don't. I think the system is rigged against the poor. And I think it's super rigged if you are a person of color, if you are a woman or gay or anything. But that's a conversation for a different day. That is just my opinion. But nevertheless, you need a system. I'd much rather live in a country with a system than to live with a country without a system because it'll be chaos. Your job, the companies that you work for, has a system. You know, the policies that you have to follow, the hierarchy which you have to report to, whether it's your manager, your supervisor, your general managers, the wage structures, the HR, the pay leave, all those things, it falls under the umbrella of a system. So a system is very important because without it, everything will crumble. So now that you know how important having a system is, the question now becomes why don't you have a system in your life? Why don't you have some type of system for the things that you're trying to accomplish? Because what a good system does is that it provides efficiency, it provides structure, it provides consistency, and most importantly, a good system comes with the ability to adaptability. The best way to look at it is a system is the input and the result is the output. I think sometimes a lot of us focus so much on reaching our goals, on getting the result that we want, instead of focusing on creating a robust system which will, ultimately lead to us accomplishing our goals and getting what we want. Don't get me wrong, having a goal is not a bad thing because what a goal does is it provides a target which you can aim at. But having a system is what's the most important thing because the system is what will help you hit those targets. For example, let's just say you want to read 10 books this year. How can you go about creating that system? Perhaps you may want to start reading 1 hour a day. You may only want to read books that has between 200 pages to 300 pages to keep it short so that way you can reach your goal faster. Perhaps you want to break it down to chapters, how many chapters you should read each week. And then the most important thing, like I said, A system has to be able to be adaptable. So what is your backup plan when you're not able to read 1 hour a day? Maybe life gets in the way. Because trust me, life will get on your way. Whether it's birthdays, whether you fall ill, whether you have to work extra time, whether you have to celebrate your anniversary. So what is your backup plan? What is your alternate plan in case you're not able to keep up with your system? So that way you can make up for the pages that you didn't read. So what I'm just saying is create a system. And the best thing is you can create a system about anything. If you're an athlete, you can create a system on how to improve your game. If you're a baker, you can create a system to how to become a better baker, to how to perhaps market your business. If you are a photographer, you can create a system to how to take more pictures, how to get better taking pictures, how to market and sell your pictures online or make money in some ways. You can always create a system. If you're a business person, you can create a system on how to run your business properly so it does not crumble, so you don't go out of business. Like, I hate to bring this up because I feel like I've talked about it so many times in my past videos, but I used to be one of those guys who used to never care about savings. Like, I just didn't care about it. I used to live in the moment. I was that guy, you only live once, get it done. But now that I have kids, now that I have a family, saving is everything. Because research shows that the average American family cannot afford a $400 emergency bill. Like, that's just the truth. So for me, saving became important because, you know, I was thinking about, hey, I need to save for a raining day. I have to save for emergency funds. I also have to save money to just have money in case I need to invest, in case there's some opportunities, that comes about that I can take advantage of. So, but I struggled. I didn't know how to go about doing that. And it wasn't until I learned how valuable having a system was, that's when I started saving a little bit of money. So one of the things that I did for my saving system was that I linked my checking account to my saving account. So that way, when I got paid, because my check went to my checking account, and I set it up to the point where automatically a small percentage of my paycheck will go towards my saving account. And then the other thing that I did was that I chose a doable amount. You know, amount of money that I know I can save each month without really hurting my pocket, without me saving too much and later having to go back and take the money out because I just saved too much and I'm broke and I need that money. No, I saved a good amount, even though it was not the amount that I wanted to save, but something is better than nothing. The third thing that I did was that I started leaving my credit cards at home. So that way I don't spend on it. I can just focus on paying it down. The other thing that I did was that I kind of stopped eating out as much. I used to drive and want to go to Kidoba, Chipotle, Wingstop. I lessened it a little bit, the frequency of me eating out. So it was maybe 5 times a month. Now I dropped it down to about 1 to 2 times a month. Because I still gotta live life a little bit, man. Like, I can't make it too strict because I'm a human being. I have needs. So paying attention to all those things started to help me, save more money. And then the other thing that I started doing was just act like I'm broke. When people will ask me for money, hey, can you spot me this? Can you lend me money? Even my own family, I would tell them, hey, I don't have any money. I'm broke. And when I went out, I'll take maybe $20 to $40. So that way I know I'm not gonna overspend. But in the past, I used to take $300 to $400 with me and I'll go there and spend all that money. So making those small adjustments helped me start to save money. Another example I'll give you guys is like when people go to college, you know, no one is going to college with the notion that, hey, I'm going to college to fail. Everybody goes to college with the hope of graduating. But Not everybody graduates. There's only three things that can happen when you go to college. You can graduate on time. It can take you a little bit longer to graduate, or you can straight flunk out. And for me, I'm one of those people who took a little bit longer to get my degree, and I went to a 2 year college. I was playing around, and then I started seeing my friends graduating on time and leaving, and I started seeing some of my friends dropping out, flunking out. And for me, I was like, no, I'm not going to give up. So I stayed with it. And it took me a while. I'm not going to lie. It took me a while to get my 2 year degrees. And I know some of you guys might have bachelor's and master degrees and um, PhD. Great for you guys. But for me, even these 2 year college degrees means a lot to me because I know how hard I had to work for it. Basically, had to become the opposite of what I was. Not in a bad way. I had to become a student, so I had to create a system, starting to go on class on time, starting to attack my school project early, especially if the teacher gave us maybe 2 weeks to get it done. I started to attack it early so that way I don't end up in the last minute rushing, trying to turn it in. I started saying no to certain parties. I started, turning my homework on time. I started, just be a good student, planning my schedule. And eventually I was able to graduate. Yes, it took me a while, but I was able to graduate. So you can definitely create a system for everything. It's going to help you. Another example I can give you guys, my lady delegates the responsibility of taking out the trash to me. So we have a waste management truck that comes into our neighborhood every week on Wednesday. And it's my job to put the trash out on the curb. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I used to fumble plenty of times, but until I sat down and I decided to come up with a system, because I was like, hey, I leave for work at 4:30 in the morning. So when I'm just leaving for work, I can just take out the trash every Wednesday when I leave for work. And when I started doing that, I didn't really have any problems because the system was working. So once again, instead of focusing on reaching your goals, focus on creating a system that will help you reach those goals, that will help you get the result that you want. Because when you only focus on your goals, it's just something that can be short term. Because when you reach your goal, you get the result that you want, then what? What you gonna do next? Where you gonna head next? It's like you set out a goal to run a marathon and you finally were able to accomplish that goal. You ran the marathon. And then what happens after that? Are you going to revert back and go back to your old self where you were being lazy, not working out, not running, eating potato chips? No. So creating a system will keep you in the game, will keep you active, will keep you in shape, will keep you getting better. It's very important. It's no different than having a nasty, dirty car. Yes, one day you can muster up the courage to clean up your car, but if you don't have a good system, then guess what? In 2 or 3 weeks, your car will be dirty again. All right, guys, so that's it for me today. Let me know what you think about this topic, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.